Yo, what is up guys, and welcome to the day 44 recap of the 2016-2017 NBA season. I got a question for you guys. I have a legitimate question for you guys. Why on earth hasn't the general manager of the Washington Wizards been fired yet? It's at the point where you can't even blame the general manager anymore, and this is on the owner's shoulders. If I were the owner, that GM would have been fired a very long time ago. As soon as he told me that his grand plan was to recruit Kevin Durant to Washington, D.C., I would have listened. I would have been like, well, maybe this is a good idea. But as soon as I heard Kevin Durant say, I'm not coming to DC, long before free agency even started, and then the general manager insisted that he could get Kevin Durant to come to DC, he would have been out the door. Obviously, the man is insane. John Wall goes off for a career high 52 points last night. A career high 52 for John Wall. John Wall is not a scorer for his point guard, so this is actually, I didn't see this coming. Well, I can't say never. I can't say that I never expected him to drop 50, but at the same time, it sounds weird to say John Wall scored 50 points. And the Washington Wizards lost to the Orlando Magic. It's definitely not his fault though. It is most definitely not John Wall's fault. It's the freaking bench. I'm just gonna make this one point really quickly to emphasize how bad Washington's bench is. The Washington Wizards bench scored 22 points. Now that's better than usual on most nights for that bench. 22 points from the Washington Wizards bench. But then the Orlando Magic's bench had 73 points. Now, I can't necessarily say that it's all on the Washington Wizards bench. They went out and dropped their 22. The Orlando Magic just scored 73. But, and that's actually more than the Orlando Magic starters did. But, I'm just saying the discrepancy there is kind of hard to ignore. The Washington Wizards bench can never have a night like the Orlando Magic's bench. Yo, they would never have a night where they go out and drop 73 points, not on this planet, not in this league, not in this lifetime. And that's all I really gotta say. John Wall had a terrific game. Yo, he hit 5 threes. John Wall is not a good three-point shooter, so any night that he's hitting 5 threes is a very special night. And unfortunately, when it was the battle of the benches, there was no comparison. For the Orlando Magic, now I called this team bad before. I did call this team bad, and I still wouldn't say that they're like a great team, but they're not bad. You know, they've been playing actually pretty good. I think they're like, what, 4-1 in their past 5 games or something like that? I believe that's what they were, like 4-1 in their past 5 games. And it's actually not that bad of a team. Like, on paper, it doesn't even sound like a bad team. I mean, their bench is actually really good. I mean, of course, when you have Elfrid Payton's coming off the bench for some reason, he also had a career high 25 points last night. He's coming off the bench for some reason in favor of DJ Augustine. And then you have Vucevic coming off the bench as well. And then Jody Meeks is back from injury. He's a guy that when he's healthy and when he's on, he can provide a spark off the bench. And then, of course, the same thing can be said for Jeff Green. So, you know, their bench is pretty good. Their starting lineup, it's pretty good. The Orlando Magic team isn't bad. I wouldn't say that they're bad. We just don't know what they are yet. The New York Knicks have won 4 in a row. Granted, they are all against sub 500 teams, but at the same time, that's still a good thing because they're going out and beating teams that they're supposed to beat, so you can't punish them for that. They went out and beat the Miami Heat last night, and now they are 12-9 on the year. Since starting off the season 2-5, they are now 10-4. So that's a pretty good record compared to what we thought they were going to be when the season first started. And Carmelo Anthony had another night last night. Yo, he's been coming alive. You know, he's been inconsistent, but he is coming alive. He's a guy that, you know, any night can go out there and have a night like this. Yo, he had 35 points, 13 of 27 shooting. And Joakim Noah is trying to earn my respect. Yo, Joakim Noah is trying really hard to earn my respect. Yo, he actually had a good game last night. Yo, 10 points, 10 rebounds, and only 14 minutes. So that's an extremely productive minutes, but he needs to learn how to not foul as well. He's always in foul trouble, even though he almost never plays. In 14 minutes, he also had 4 fouls. But that being said, Joakim Noah, it's gonna take a lot more than one good performance to earn my respect. I still think Kyle O'Quinn is a better center than you, and I still think that you were a mistake for the New York Knicks. My Pistons went out and got the win last night. Yo, they went out and beat the Chicago Bulls 102-91, and it was a pretty interesting game. The Pistons went up by, I think, like, what was it, 17, and the Bulls started to gain some momentum going into halftime. They got the lead down to 7, and then After halftime, the Bulls actually took the lead in that third quarter. You know, they took that momentum from halftime and continued moving it forward. But then my Pistons woke up again and they struck back. At the same time, it could have been because the Chicago Bulls were tired. You know, they were playing their 4th game in 5 nights. So, you know, their legs eventually had to give out, and they did give out. And my Pistons came away with the W. For the Pistons, you know, it's like this. You know, balanced scoring from the start. You know, Tobias Harris left the way with 22 points. But then you had Andre Drummond, who had 15 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 blocks. And Marcus Morris chipped in 13 points. KCP chipped in 12. And Reggie Jackson didn't have the best shooting night, but he was still out there setting up Andre Drummond. You know, he had some nice hustle plays from Reggie Jackson. He was out there setting up Andre Drummond as well. He had 7 assists and 7 points in his 18 minutes, still on the minutes restrictions. But you know, it's the bench that did it for us. This bench is much better than it was last year. Mainly John Lure and Ish Smith. Ish Smith didn't shoot the ball well. I wish he wouldn't have shot the ball as much. He shot the ball 11 times, only made 2 shots. But he was out there assisting. He had 10 assists and didn't turn the ball over once. So that's exactly what you would love from a backup point guard. That is great production from a backup point guard. Aaron Baines, I see you trying to stay on the team. I see you out there trying to stay on the team. Get off. Yo, 8 points and 9 rebounds and 23 minutes. All right, I'll give you that. That's not bad, but get off the team. I've seen this before. I've seen you have a solid game before, and I know what comes next. So get off the team before next game, because I do not want to see what's going to happen. It's about to be ugly. And for the Bulls, you know, Jimmy Butler must be tired, yo. Jimmy Butler has to be exhausted. The man played 43 minutes last night. Keep in mind, he has been carrying this team on his back for the longest time now. He played 43 minutes. It was the 4th game in 5 nights. He did have 32 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. That's a lot of mileage to put on Jimmy Butler. He is your best player, I do get it, and he's used to the mileage playing under Tom Thibodeau for so long. But still, at the same time, you don't really have a choice, because the Chicago Bulls bench has been absolute trash as of a lot late, yo. The San Antonio Spurs just continue to win. Yo, they just continue to win. They went out and beat the Minnesota Timberwolves 105-91. Kawhi Leonard was absolutely on fire last night. Yo, absolutely on fire. 11 of 15 from the field for 31 points. You know, he just couldn't miss. He couldn't miss last night whatsoever. And, you know, no one really expected the Timberwolves to win this game, even though the Spurs were on a back-to-back. But that doesn't matter, because no one expected the Timberwolves to win this game. But Karl Anthony Towns just had an awful game, yo. He did have 14 rebounds, but as far as shooting the ball, I mean, it's almost as bad as it gets, yo. He was 3 of 16 from the field, had 11 points, so, you know, the Timberwolves aren't going to win too many games when Karl Anthony Towns has that type of a shooting night. Zach LaVine did his best to keep the team in the game, yo. He had 25 points, and Zach LaVine, I don't think people understand how good he could be. I'm probably gonna have to make another video talking about this, because I don't want to go on this too long, but Zach LaVine could be a very huge problem in this league. He gets overshadowed by Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins, but Zach LaVine, in my opinion, has just as much potential, maybe not as Karl Anthony Towns, but definitely as Andrew Wiggins. He can shoot. He's extremely athletic, he's quick, he has the entire package offensively. And then if he can learn to use that package on the defensive end as well, he could be a serious problem in this league. But Chris Dunn had his best game. Yo, his absolute best game. Well, his best game, like, shooting on the offensive end at least. He had 15 points on 6 of 7 shooting in only 17 minutes. So hopefully Tom Thibodeau starts to give him more minutes. The Phoenix Suns tried, yo. The Phoenix Suns tried to come back in that 4th quarter, yo. It was looking like it was going to be a pretty easy win for the Utah Jazz the entire game. And then in the 4th quarter, the Phoenix Suns decided, you know what? We're sick of losing. They outscored the Utah Jazz 30-18 in that 4th quarter, but still came up short. You know, they lost 112-105. The Jazz are just a really good team, even though they're missing Derek Favors, George Hill, Burks off the bench. The Jazz is still a really good team, and of course, Gordon Hayward should still be an All-Star. He's still playing like a freaking All-Star. He has been one of the best players of the season so far, yo. He had 28 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals last night, so he is still absolutely lighting it up. And then Rudy Gobert has also been dominating as well, yo. He had 22 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 blocks again last night. Yo, I don't know. Rudy Gobert might be becoming my favorite to win Defensive Player of the Year at this rate. I mean, the man is just a monster. Last but not least, the Memphis Grizzlies beat the Philadelphia 76ers. Marc Gasol has also been having a really good year. Marc Gasol had 26 points and 12 rebounds last night, and he also had a couple of blocks. So, you know, Marc Gasol is still, like I said yesterday, he's one of the best centers in the NBA. Right now, he's putting this Memphis team on his back, yo. Troy Daniels finally had an off night last night, which you could expect. I mean, everyone has an off night, especially shooters. So, you know, he had an off night. He was 4 of 14 from the field at 10 points, and he was only 1 of 8 from 3. But you know, as long as he keeps shooting, I'm happy with Troy Daniels. I love to see players get a chance, and I love to see players thrive when they get that chance. But that about wraps up the day 44 recap of the 2016-2017 NBA season. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to smack the like button and subscribe if you haven't already for more videos posted every single day just like this and others as well. And you guys already know what that means. I'll be right back here tomorrow recapping the action from tonight. So until then, keep getting the buckets, Team SDC, and I'm out of here. Peace!